And she looks at me with like terror, and I'm like, oh God, he was dosed 10 minutes before me. If he's dead, then I'm next. Oh my God, my life flashed before my eyes.
Ayubowan, kia ora.
And welcome back to...
Sorry, Amma, I married a Kiwi.
How's it going, everybody? We missed you.
We missed you guys.
So, we are not beating around the bush today, that's for sure.
Yes, we are finally going to get into it. I mean, how many times did we get into it and talk about it?
You asked for it. The Sri Lanka story.
Okay, here we are in the Sri Lanka stories. But before we get into it, oh no, did I say it?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Let's just go back in time to Sri Lanka. Bloop, 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 bloop.
That's your memory.
That's time travel, actually.
Oh God.
Memory is woo.
Wow. You need to start doing audio.
We need to tell the story. Sorry, what were we going to say?
No. I was about to say like our little baby Chuti Cody Blood was just jumping around in the cable, so Sam has to put her outside.
Yeah, little kitten was really trying to help by eating every podcast cable that we have, but we've already had enough technical issues for one night, so...
Yeah, so Chuti Blood is not doing an appearance today. Maybe another day.
Like a true harsh dad, I sent her to a room with like a pile of treats, so...
Okay, so now, since we're not going to do before we get into it anymore, where do we start?
So we talked about how you're more introverted because of lockdown and your experiences in New Zealand.
And how jealous I was about Sam's lockdown situation.
So you went to the Supreme Court and you actually tried to do some interviews for your original podcast.
Yeah. While I was in Sri Lanka, that 3 months, I tried to... not just try to, I actually ended up interviewing few people that I really admire and are very in lead of their careers, one of them being this senior lawyer that I was working at the time, and also one of the president councils in Sri Lanka. In the court system, yeah. He was a minister for the country for a while and stuff like that, so I had a good time having a good old chat with him. He was talking about how he's a lawyer from like in many generations, and my senior lawyer was like a first time generation lawyer. So like it was very interesting having chats to them like probably within few days apart. So like yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I had a chat with the CEO of the Barista, like a company. Actually, Sri Lankans are tea people, so this person is kind of like making a mark in the Sri Lankan coffee industry, kind of like making cafes a thing. So yeah, it was pretty interesting few conversations.
You had your little brother Sammy helping you out for those, didn't you?
Yes,
set it up?
yes. Like I would do all the communications and it's like plan the dates and all that kind of stuff, and then Sammy would have to drive to Colombo from Mahatala, which is like a few hour drive, and then just do all the videos and audios and, you know, camera work and all that kind of stuff. But
Such a good Mully.
He was helping out a lot, but life got a bit chaotic for us, and then we didn't end up really following that. I still have the contents. I might actually get them out.
I saw some of them you interviewed in like quite fancy looking court offices.
Yeah, that was the
President Council?
President Council.
Wow, he should have a fancy office.
I mean, you would expect, right?
So I was reading through a lot of our messages during this time, and it was kind of like, this is like a romantic cross-cultural podcast, but I feel like some of our messages are too like... Lovey-dovey sweet.
Oh.
So, I know. Which is what you'd expect, because we had fallen in love and then you'd left and we didn't know when we'd see each other again. So it was all very sweet. It was all very lovey-dovey.
Don't worry, we're not going to get into that. We're not going to be reading out all the receipts of what we were talking. That's going to be embarrassing.
I'll read them all in the bonus features. Did I have any written down actually?
No, please don't. Oh my God, Sam is coming with receipt. This is terrible.
I think...
I'm going to hide in a corner. Yep, Sam is looking for...
Emasha says, teenage Emasha would not have believed she would date a Prince Charming.
Oh my God, kill me now.
Sam says Sam would not have imagined dating a Sri Lankan whose family he'd have to win over despite centuries of tradition.
Yeah, my one is so cute.
Yeah, I need to find one of mine.
Just the reality. Like, you don't have to put it into words. We all know the situation, man.
I think a lot of them were also very like. There's one. This is you message saying, "Can you?" Emasha says, "Can you promise me something?" Mm-hmm. Sam says, "What, my love?"
Oh my God.
Enter stage right. Emasha says, "Even if we end up together or not, can you please write our story one day? I haven't heard of two people like us, not within my circle. You're so amazing with your words, and the love that this is, it deserves to be on paper."
Wow, I'm good. I might start writing.
It was very sweet, but like, I remember a lot of our communications were like that. I think we were obviously still getting to know each other, and anyone knows long distance is just like makes communication that much harder.
It does.
So I guess there's like everything you said, I was double reading into it as to like, is this you hinting that things aren't going to work out? Or like, have you told the family? Are you planning to tell the family? So stuff like that, I think, made me wonder if you were like trying to wrap things up in some way, I guess. That was my fear.
I guess there were days where I was trying to wrap things up, or I was trying to like, dude, just be warned. This is your warning. Please understand. Like giving all the warning signs. I'm like, there's a banner, there's a poster.
You kept saying like, please forgive me if I have to end this.
Yeah, because it's very sad, right? If I had to end it, because I didn't want to, but at the same time, I just can't just completely turn my back for my family.
I kept getting those messages with like, sad face, please forgive me, this doesn't work out. And I'm like, I love you entirely. Like, I'm in this. I know things aren't looking great right now. But like, if things are going to end, like, I'd prefer to be in this together and, us love each other as much as possible and make the most of that moment rather than feeling like you're trying to push me away to, protect me for when it does end. If that makes sense.
I understand that, but to be fair, like what was happening at the time was so intense, and so not just one friend, so many of close friends of mine told me like, don't tell Sam this.
Don't tell him what's going on.
Do not tell him what is going on, because one, he wouldn't understand. Two, even if this works out one day, he would just like throw it back at you and be like, say something or something like that. And my idea is that I'm not going to be like covering something up or like wouldn't say a white lie in my whole life. But at the same time, I'm somebody who tries to tell truth as much as I can. So I was telling to my friends, like my best friends actually, so I was like, no, if he can't handle the truth now, how is he going to handle when like a whole family, like a whole, like if he is to deal with the whole tradition, like a whole culture, and how is he going to deal with that in the future if we works out? So if he gets scared and run away, let him run away. That was my idea. I guess I love you and I wanted you to stay with me, but at the same time I was like, if he can't handle the truth now, I would rather say bye-byes now than just be stuck in a place where we both are not happy.
I think, as our listeners know, that's like a lot of subtext for someone to get over text messaging long distance after 1 month of dating, which is probably what I was missing context wise.
Okay, I'll give you the context. So this is something that I was dreading. Like, yes, I wanted to talk about everything, but at the same time, these are very nuanced situations. And like, unless we do justice and then make sure all the nuances are covered as much as possible, it's going to sound bad for so many people, including me and my family, all that, and for a whole culture, right? So that's why we were like, I was dreading talking about this. But as you all know, we have heard about proposals and proposal marriages. There's a TV show about Seema auntie who just goes and do, she's a matchmaker, Indian matchmaker. Okay, I know a lot of friends who watch it in New Zealand. So like some Western friends of mine were introduced to the idea through that. That's pretty hilarious. But
thank you, Netflix, for normalizing us to these things.
So if you haven't watched it, watch it. It's a reality show. It's pretty funny. I don't know how accurate that is because obviously I'm not from India. Things are a little bit different. But the problem is when you talk about proposed marriages, people think it's forced marriages. But there's a big difference in the two concepts. In forced marriages, which also happen to the date, we're not going to forget that. I'm not going to say that never happens in Sri Lanka. Maybe that happens in certain places. I haven't heard, or in my inner circle at least, I haven't, none of my friends or close friends or people that I know have exactly faced forced marriages per se, where like somebody was like forced and cornered to marry somebody against their will. But at the same time, there's a lot of emotional manipulation. I'm not going to be I'm sorry, if we are going into this today, this is not going to sound funny. This is not going to be a fun episode. But
if we need to inject a bit of happiness into it, I messaged you that you were a Sri Lankan goddess before. I just don't want you to think that like you were doing all the sweet talking. I was not sweet talking back. I've got the notes and receipts here. And I said that I promised to give it everything I have at my end. And you said, thanks, honey.
Oh. Why did you have to throw it? I'm just talking about a very culturally nuanced topic. And then Sam goes, you're a Sri Lankan goddess.
Sam's like frantically going through his notebook being, find a happy thing to inject into the story. One of us, I don't know who sent this message, but one of us at that time said, morning, I was super emotional today, imagining a conversation. Oh, this was you. Damn, why are you always doing the sweet talking?
Oh, God, what did I say?
You said, morning, I was super emotional today, imagining a conversation with Amma in my head, and the thought of not seeing my tree again, which is me, terrified me. Please don't do that to me in any circumstance. I can't wait to be in your arms, baby. Love you so much.
Oh my God, Sam, you gotta stop reading out messages that I have sent like a while ago. I probably wouldn't say that now.
Whoa, hey, what? Hey, yo. I just wanted to have some of the happy stuff before we get into the, We said, I love you, right? Because I genuinely do. That's nice.
So I was like frantically going through his notes, like trying to find the lovely ones. Fun, happy, bubbly, cute. Yeah, there was so many like fun and happy and bubbly and cuteness.
And like,
otherwise we wouldn't have wanted to be with each other if it was all serious and like sadness,
Exactly. And I was thinking earlier today, like there's so many weird phrases that we both have. They call them like idioms. That are unique phrases that can't be directly translated.
Yeah.
And, like, you're still learning some of mine and I'm still learning yours, like, a year and a half into marriage. So it's like we must have, like, it's amazing that we connected as similar people despite the fact that so much of our language we didn't even understand what the other one was really getting at.
Like, true. Like, my mother, Amma, is somebody who uses idioms, Sinhala idioms, of course, all the time, like all the time. So there are so many situations where I'm like, I just don't know how else to explain how I'm feeling right now without using the Sinhala idiom. And imagine trying to explain that to Sam.
And then he'll be there like, oh, it's like, you're cutting lemons, but like to spite someone. And I'm like, what? Oh yeah, when you flick lemon juice at I totally, what? Or when I'm like, oh, my giddy aunt, what am I, chopped liver? I have your guts for garters. You must be like, who is this guy and what is he on?
And there are stuff that like mum says and dad says that you just use all the time, and I'm like, huh?
I think it's really cool that like now I hear you using it as well. Or like we watched the movie the other night where they used giddy aunt, and you're like, oh my gosh, like it's not just your weird family that says that. And for context, like back in New Zealand, I was writing my novel. I was writing the third counterpart book at the time. And I'd also enrolled my body for medical science.
Yeah.
So I'd made quite a lot of money, as most artists in Auckland did, I think. of participating in early drug trials, where you'll take they'll give you a very, very small dosage of some new drug that they're using for medical treatments, and then they kind of do regular blood tests. It's kind of like a hospital clinic where you have to be confined inside, and then you get paid thousands of dollars for, helping advance medicine. It's great, and there's barely any side effects. So I was locked inside one of these at the time, couldn't go anywhere, and this was when things were kind of getting more intense in Sri Lanka. So I was had my phone on for calls in the middle of the night and texts while I was being dosed with drugs and having my blood regularly removed, which just added to the experience.
What a time to be alive.
Okay, switch back to Emasha's POV.
Okay, I can't remember where I stopped now, Sam.
We had Indian matchmaker.
Okay,
and,
yeah. So I was explaining the difference between forced marriages and proposed marriages. So there's not necessarily forced to the extent of oh my God, somebody just take you, forcefully take you and shove you into a wedding day and then just make you forcefully put the sign, or you have a gun to your head or anything like that. But obviously there's a lot of emotional blackmailing in a lot of Asian cultures. I don't know if I'm going to get into trouble by saying that, but I was
tell us in the comments if she got herself into trouble.
I don't think that's going to work. But I know if you are from an Asian culture, if you have Asian parents, there are things place where you don't want to do something, then your mom goes I have done so much for you and this is how you treat me, if you're an Asian kid, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if that's is it similar to Western parents?
I don't know. I just know. I feel I know the situation so well now that
is it familiar to you?
It feels very familiar. I feel I've been quite close in proximity to it. But no, I mean, not to that degree. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to stand here and pretend it's comparable.
So yeah, so that's how. If I go about forcing somebody, that's the amount or extent of forcing somebody. But the problem is, and to be fair, again, not trying to generalize a whole culture, whole subcontinent or a whole subsect of people in the world. But I feel Asian parents put so much, at least Sri Lankans, let's just not go to generalize it, but from what I know, most of Sri Lankan parents, they just put so much into their kids' lives. Like after they have kids, their kids become their whole identity. Everything that they do, the whole future that they're planning, every penny that they're earning, everything is about kids. So, and then they completely don't have their own life, most of them. And so because of that, once their kids grow up, they have to fulfill their dreams through their kids, and then they can't let them go and then do their own thing, because then they're losing what they are about. So because of that, they are involved in making so many decisions of your life, and then they take it upon themselves to find you a match, or if you find a match, to decide whether that match is good enough for you, sort of thing.
They are the dating app in a way, because who else would know you that well?
Exactly. And to be fair, my brother found his partner, his wife, through a proposal that my parents bought for him.
So that's your Aya, your older brother?
Yeah, my older brother. And she's lovely. She's the best sister-in-law we could imagine.
Hi, Marty.
She's very lovely, and then they're such a great couple. I think they match, they complement each other very well. So it's a lovely match, and I know so many people who met through proposals that was brought to them by their parents, and then having an amazing life. They just they're living their life beautifully. So there's nothing against it. But at the same time, I know so many places where the proposals didn't work out because the kids or the people who are getting married didn't have enough time to get to know each other, or they were matching, the proposal was matching on a surface level. So what happens...
perhaps be a longer screening process is the one part that could be tweaked.
I think so. And plus, I guess when you're matching in a proposal, what you're matching is the the surface level stuff. So when I talk about a proposal, just to explain, there can be a few different ways of that happening. When either your parents know of a parent, like my parent, like let's say this couple knows, have friends who knows similar age kids, so like they were like, oh my god, do you know, like my friend so and so's daughter is also the age, probably matches your son, so like let's just like introduce the two parents together, so like the two parent couples get together, and it's like, oh yeah, this is a good idea, let's just get them to chat, blah blah blah. So that could happen like that through connections of older generation, or there could be actual matchmakers involved, like Auntie Seema from Indian Matchmaker.
Or pros get involved.
Yeah, like an actual professional is getting involved. So who would have a list of people, eligible people, who would go to the house and be like, okay, these are the people that I have. Like, let's match these, whatever. And then, would you like these people? Let's just bring the guy's family to see the girl in the girl's house, and then like, so and so. Or actually, you can put newspaper articles and
newspaper advertisements,
not articles,
which we associate with, like, I guess back a generation where it's like, oh, lonely heart looking for love, call this number.
That's not
in the classified section. It's not the same. Likes long walks on the beach, looking for someone to...
I don't think...
I don't know if I've ever read one of these, if I'm just making this up.
I think you are totally making this up. So these are the bachelors posting them themselves?
It used to be like people who would go on dating apps, like people who are really keen to find someone.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, if you're looking for someone too, and you kind of meet this description, then give me a call and maybe we'll get coffee.
I guess the difference is like these advertisements are written and posted by the parents.
That's definitely not what would happen.
So, like, the kids sometimes don't even have an idea.
Someone gets in touch with them. They're like, oh, how do you know about me? It's like, oh, don't you know? Like, your mum...
Yeah. You're like, what?
Your mum advertised you on the open market.
Okay, so next time, I'll promise you, I'll find some Sri Lankan...
Oh my gosh, yes.
...marriage proposal advertisements on newspapers.
Can we do dramatic readings?
Let's do that.
That sounds great.
So next week episode, please tune in. We will definitely read a few so you have an idea what we are talking about. So that's one way to find out. So one parent would have somebody who's in the age of getting married. Then they will put like, this is the height, and it's so annoying. Like most of them starts like fair, this much tall, blah blah blah, and like fair is like a very important quality, especially for when they're advertising for girls, fair looking girl, whatever. So so the height, and then probably like if they do a job, and their religion, their caste, which is also very interestingly important when it comes to the marriage. Up until then, it's I find that super funny. The whole culture completely like go about their day without really worrying about the caste system. But when it comes to the marriage, everybody just like jump into like openly talk about caste, which frustrates me a lot.
Also, I mean, there's a whole conversation there, and we could go into the other conversation, which is how I grew up being considered too pale and mocked relentlessly as like the guy with no tan line, the guy who would glow in the dark, that pasty kid. It's so hard. It's so hard growing up, isn't it? To like conform to whatever random standard your area has.
And I was the darkest in the family of the girls. Yeah. I mean, from the girls.
You had to deal with like the shadow of colonialism there, and we had like, oh, if you're not tanned, then you're not part of the leisure class.
What is the problem? All the fair like pale skinned people are like, oh my god, we gotta get a tan, and then all the tan people are like going after fair and lovely, which is just like trying to get more. And
Fair and Lovely is like the beauty product that makes you lighter, right?
Yes, sorry. I assumed everybody knows about it. That was this very controversial beauty product. Their advertisements from the earlier advertisements are very interesting. They just like show a little bit of a tan girl or like a darker skinned man or something, and then just like how unattractive they are, and then put Fair and Lovely, and then you become whiter, and then now all of a sudden the whole world is after you. So Any oopsies, so yeah.
Maybe we can come back to context around that, but jump into the story for.
Sure.
So back in New Zealand, Sam's checked into the medical clinic. I'd befriended a lot of the staff at the clinic by this point because I'd done just so many dang medical experiments. I was like a professional guinea pig.
Mm-hmm. And
and I checked in, and I think I'd already told like the nurses like the whole saga.
Okay.
Because one of them was like, B was there, and she's like, "How's Emasha doing?" I'm like, "Who? The love of my life?" And all the nurses like, "Oh," bleh, bleh. And they're like, they're pretending to like vomit with the sweetness of it all. Sweetness of it all. So I just like tucked myself into my hospital bed, and I didn't know what was about to happen, which was that I didn't know that I was, on top of getting dosed with drugs in there, that I also contracted COVID.
Oh my God, yes, you had COVID at the time.
And I kept testing every day, but it was constant negative tests, so I guess I thought maybe it was the drugs. So I think I was kind of feverish and delirious and going through these like spasms and throes. I remember every morning I packed all my bags because I thought they were going to send me home, and then they're like, no, you're fine. And the only place where I could safely call Emasha, which obviously we were doing a lot, because it's a very small confined space, and the nurses have to be able to see you at all times in case you collapse
Oh my God.
or pass out. I remember there was like a guy sleeping, another human guinea pig in the bed beside me, and the nurse tried to wake him up, and he just wouldn't wake.
Oh no.
And she shook him, and she looks at me with like terror, and I'm like, oh God, he was dosed 10 minutes before me. If he's dead, then I'm next. And she shakes him, she's like, Matthew, and then he goes,
what was he doing?
I think he had his headphones on, he was in like a deep comatose sleep. Oh my God, my life flashed before my eyes. So I was already like worried that our future might, that you might not be coming back. I was going through...
Plus I might be dead.
I was going through heartbreak. I might be dead. I might not even live to see that. It was... So the only place I could make a safe call to you was in the shower of one of the bathrooms. I had to go to the in-bathroom and then kind of crawl into the shower. I don't know why I was on the floor of the shower. I don't think that was necessary for reception, but I don't know. I just felt like that was my life. I belonged on the floor at that point.
Probably there was no seat or something, so you had to
That's true. I can't just stand in the shower the whole time. Yeah.
You were too tired to be standing because you had or had not COVID, or you were delirious or not.
That's true. I was riddled with COVID and untested drugs on the bottom of an empty shower. Trying to call Emasha.
Okay, so from my side, I landed in Sri Lanka. I think we mentioned in the previous episodes, like when I started, like the reason I was like, okay, I'll just give it a go. I'll date somebody before I go home is the reason that I was like, because my parents are kind of bringing up like, okay, you're of age now. Maybe we should be better find somebody. We will find somebody by the time you come home. So you can meet and make a match and then maybe just talk about the marriage. So that's why I was like, oh, maybe that's my last hurrah. But then I was not expecting it to slam on me the minute I land. So interestingly enough, I landed in the second, probably the first day or the second day itself, my mother, Amma, brought it up and then said, so we have met somebody, we have found a person that is a really, really a good match for you. So would you let's plan for them to come and meet us and then meet you. And which imaginably so, that kind of blew me up. I was so mad because in my head there are so many factors working out. I'm falling in love with this person, already fallen in love at that point, but I don't know what to do with that. I'm not ready to just bring him up and be like, I'm not doing anything, I'm just going to marry this person, because I don't know him enough at that point. I fell in love, but at the same time, I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to make a whole life...
It's not time for an ultimatum.
Yeah. I'm not going to make a decision that is going to last forever. Like, it's going to impact my whole life and everybody around me on just a month. It's a big...
And also, remember, I was in Australia for 2 weeks. So you're kind of going
2
off 2
weeks.
weeks.
So I am not that delusional. So because of that, I was like, okay, I was like, no, I do not want to meet anybody or don't want to talk about this conversation. Please don't bring it up for me. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I think that kind of made me like, okay, I'm just going to go. I'm going to work on my job right now. I'm not ready to talk about a marriage. Just leave me alone. So I had a bit of a conversation. Not a conversation, an argument with my mother. And I think I'm pretty sure she must have felt very sad about it. I felt devastated about it. And I called my friend, who a dear friend of mine, who we did the university together. So I'm really grateful for having her at the time. So I was meaning to stay with her during the 3 months of my planned job that I planned. So I just called her and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to come. I'm going to start earlier than I expected. I made Sammy drive me to Colombo.
There was also the whole thing that, like, whenever we were on a phone call, you'd have to cut it immediately if you heard, like, footsteps.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want to have that whole explanation. And
because the thing is, like, I thought she's going to give me grace and then just at least leave me alone for a while, because I told her about that there is a person in my life. In the sense, like, I met this guy, I just liked him, and even though she's not gonna agree for me to marry that person right away, which I don't expect from her, because I want to reiterate again and again, it comes from a place of love, and then the fear comes from a place of unknown. So because of that, it is hard. It's so silly of me to expect them to understand everything and then just like, oh my God, let's just accept him right away. That's not going to happen. But at least to, like, give me space to even consider Sam, or, like, approve or disapprove him. Like, because whatever it is my life.
Fighting chance.
Exactly.
He's got some pros, he's got some cons. You can decide for yourself, Amma.
But I was surprised for not having that. And I was like, oh my God, like it became like a teenager love story where I had to have conversations with Sam over the phone. And whenever somebody just walks by, I was like, or like pretend to be talking to somebody else over the phone.
Sudu, your little brother, would come to the door and be like, Manado Karane, like, what
are you doing?
You're like, nothing.
Nothing, absolutely nothing. But anyway, so that's where the conversation started, and I was told that there is somebody that they want me to meet, and I was like, oh.
Were you told this?
I think I was told this probably as I said, the first or the second day, and I landed in Sri Lanka, because they have already started talking to that guy's.
You knew they had a candidate
parents.
in mind.
Yeah, they had a candidate in mind, and which I met him probably the next weekend.
Sam's cool with all this, by the way. Like, he's just chill back in New Zealand. He's not freaking out at all.
Yeah.
Obviously, you had the harder time of this. I just wanted, like, me talking about my stuff. I'm not trying to make light at all. Like, Emasha is the one who's suffered the most. I'm the one who's just trapped in, like, a Western rom-com.
Oh my God, this forbidden romance. And then on the other hand, I'm
my heart. Emasha's like, your heart. I've got cultural expectations, racism. Get over yourself. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Anyways, I think we should just say bye-byes now, and then let's start from...
This is a killer cliffhanger to leave them on, to be honest. This is quite brutal.
I'm sorry, but you have to come back next week.
Next week, the proposal.
Yes, next week I met the proposal guy. We'll tell you all about it. See you next week.
I'm just trying to find some kind of happy quote we can end this on.
Sam is frantically looking through his notes to find something to...
Oh, here's the one. Remember we used to keep calling it, like, saying that we had to be yo-yo casual?
Oh my God, yes, I love that.
Emasha was like, we kind of need to keep things yo-yo casual because mainly, like, you had that feeling that you felt bad when we were talking very, like, seriously declaring our love, because Amma didn't know that or wasn't on board with that. So you didn't want to feel like you were going behind her back.
I hated that because I am so open with my mother and I'm super close to her. She was like best friend growing up. Like we had no secrets. I told her even a guy winked at me, I would go home and tell her. It's like, oh no, like that guy just winked at me, like blah blah blah. So it wasn't like, I mean, in Asian cultures, like some of my friends were so scared to mention something like that to their mother because they would be like, oh no, how dare you, being looked at, So for me to just go and like completely go silent and then put a whole wall between my mother and me was hard. So I was so that was one factor. I was telling myself like, no, this is just casual. I'm just talking to somebody. On the other hand, I wanted you to feel like this is just casual, dude. Don't get carried away. So 2 parts. Yo casual.
So you're like, yeah, but please, like, you'll say something like beautifully, like, lovely, and then I'll try and like say something meaningful back. You're like, whoa, like, but let's keep it yo casual, And I'm like, how do I keep this casual? This is the least casual thing I've done in my entire life. And at the same time, like, we're sending each other quizzes of 100 questions you should definitely ask your partner before you get married.
Why did you mention that? That's a whole other conversation that we don't have time to get into.
And the next one we're like, but like yo casual.
Yeah, we would answer
casual.
the whole 100 questions and then be like, but still, yo casual, man. Yo casual.
Like, we have to get to know each other much faster.
Okay, so we'll see you guys next time. Yo casual.
Sorry, Amma, I married a Kiwi. Returning.
Yo casual.
Returning next week.
Bye.
Bye.